this is another thing that you can find on radndmedia.com. We share Stephen Semler's work, Speaking Security. The U.S. spends more on the military than the next 9 countries combined and accounts for a full 38% of global military spending. And I think, not to sound like Netanyahu here, but the visual aid does help. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Netanyahu went to the UN with a fucking poster board 3 years in a row just
of a Wile E. Coyote bomb that had drawn on a poster.
It would be so funny if it didn't actually happen. It's so amazing that he did that.
Well,
and it wasn't a joke.
He does view
up at the top.
Oh, stop. Okay. I mean, has our world ever been more of a fucking dumbass Bugs Bunny cartoon or Wile E. Coyote?
Dude, it's remarkable.
Look, the little spark at the end. It's going. It's right there. They're gonna use a bomb shaped like a bowling ball.
I mean, wow. Okay. So not to be Netanyahu about this whole thing, but I do love a visual aid, and Stephen Semler is fucking remarkable at creating these graphs where you can just see, where you can just see so clearly how fucked our country is when it comes to military spending. We spend more than 9 countries combined, and actually
the next highest spending countries.
Right.
Combined.
Not like
just 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Not like fucking the
Maldives.
Vatican.
Vatican, Maldives, and Luxembourg. We spend more than all of them combined in an hour.
That's true. And in fact, what is it that the New York City Police Department has a larger budget than the North Korean military?
The New York City Police. New York City Police. Okay, I was going to say American police have a larger budget than something like all countries' militaries, except for 5 or 3 or something. Anyway.
Right. But no, just NYPD. But anyway, so this graph is just a powerful reminder of this is why the US has to keep playing these war games, because look, we have all of this money funneling to create and wage war. There's no money being spent on waging peace, and so this you have to make sure that you get something.
There's no peace department. There's not even one dude working on peace, not just one guy. And if there were, someone would shoot him.
And this also reminds me of something John Kiriakou, who's a whistleblower, the only person to go to jail for the CIA torture program, the person who blew the whistle on it.
Revealed it, yeah.
And he I can't remember if it was a speech or if I was just talking to him, but he was talking about how you had to spend the money that they gave you, otherwise you had to give it back. And then the next year you'd get a smaller budget. So you really wanted to make sure that you'd spend all the money. So you had people flying in private jets to Europe just to have an afternoon meeting. Right.
And they notoriously, it came out that in the last couple weeks before the budget was going to end, there was lobster dinners and things that were being had by certain people in the military at like lobster buffets for military people, because they were trying to make it look like they had spent all the money so they can get that much money the following year. Of course, the U.S. just trips over. All of Congress, everybody, they all our so-called representatives just trip over themselves to give more money to the military than ever before.
Yeah, and as Gene just pointed out, the comment that I highlighted, the U.S. military is the largest. Has the largest greenhouse gas emissions in the world. And, this is obviously the time of climate chaos. So we can't talk about military without also talking about the effect on the climate crisis.
And great point. And I have a question for everybody before I forget. Since I talked about Congress tripping over themselves, they're just sending $40 billion more to Ukraine. We're getting to that in a second. Yes. But I just wanted to pose it to those of you watching. The squad also tripped over themselves to vote for this, to vote for sending billions of dollars more in weaponry to Nazis in Ukraine. At least some of them are Nazis. So my question to folks, which we'll read your responses and get to in a bit, but does the squad matter at all? What are they a squad of?
Right.
Because it's not anti-imperialist. It's not leftists.
Yeah.
What are they a squad of?
the squad of Democrats, but younger and better looking. I don't know.
The squad.
They're slightly less crusty than Nancy Pelosi, I guess. I don't know.
We're less crusty, but we vote for the same shit.
But we do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done with this one?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, you can find all of these Stephen Semler pieces on radindiemedia.com.
Is Biden preoccupied with war in Ukraine? Well, here might be the answer.
Biden has issued more directives on Russia and Ukraine than on domestic policy in 2022. I mean,
than on all of domestic policy. More directives on Russia and Ukraine than all domestic policy.
And actually all other foreign policy as well. So, like, you know, that includes all of the other things that we're doing, whether that be, you know, contributing to the bombing of Yemen or the bombing of Somalia or like whatever the fuck. This is really taking precedence right now in terms of the money and energy that is being pushed towards this. And you could argue that part of that is just because the other things like Yemen, that's on fucking autopilot because it's been going on for so long that basically all members of Congress and the president and the DOJ and everything are like, oh, well, it's just that's just on autopilot now. We're just bombing the shit out of them, and it's the largest genocide that the world has seen in a very long time. But so basically, this is this proxy war, and Lee has covered how even corporate media is slipping up on calling it a proxy war now.
Slipping up meaning they are now starting to call it a proxy war, meaning we were right from day one.
So basically, what's that this proxy war is taking up more policy time than anything domestically, than anything else in terms of foreign policy as well. And so again, this speaks to where the United States interests lie, right? They lie in pushing us further and further towards nuclear war with the other a large nuclear power that is Russia. And it is absolutely not interested in, creating peace or creating any kind of stable environment, either abroad or at home. And, this is what, as we go into the elections later this year, this is what we're looking at. This is what our elected members are spending time and money on. And it has fuck all to do with the needs of any average American, or any American, not even average, an exceptional American. It has nothing to do with the fucking needs of Americans.
Literally, people can't get baby formula right now in the United States. And yet Biden and our Congress are more focused on sending fucking weapons to Nazis in a situation that is so glaringly fucked. I mean, we are literally fighting Russia to the last Ukrainian. That is what's going on right here. And that doesn't mean I want Russia to do this. I've been opposed to this since day one. I'm opposed to all war, but we are not helping it. And in fact, I showed an article, and other people have talked about this just the other day, that Boris Johnson, basically as a United States representative, I mean, that's what he was doing, went to Ukraine and told Zelensky to not have peace talks, to end peace talks. They don't want U.S. and Western interest is not to have peace. It is to fight Russia, never ending till the last Ukrainian.
Right. And guess what? The only way that wars end is either genocide, like the other side has no people left, or peace talks. Those are the only two ways that wars end. And, obviously now the genocide could look like nuclear fucking war. So yeah, it's a pretty bleak situation considering what the priorities of our elected officials are. And, circling back to the whole NATO thing, how the elected officials, whether it's, in the US or in Sweden, it seems to be kind of the same fucking story. And, and by the way,
we'll do this last.
Right. This is on top of this, the initial request for money for Ukraine, the most recent one, was $33 billion. And then Congress was like, no, wait, we can do better. How about 40 billion? Which, if you'll notice, the only time that a request for money comes in and then Congress says, no, you need more, is when it has to do with war. When was the last time that somebody made a request
for like infrastructure, climate change,
infrastructure or climate change or healthcare or schools, and Congress was like, that's not enough money, you need more? The only time that ever fucking happens is when it has to do with war. And then they're like, no, you're going to need more of that. And again, this is money that's being funneled away from the United States to predominantly fund Nazis. And even if it weren't Nazis, I mean, it's fucking horrifying that it is, but even if it weren't, and it was just funding,
just war,
just a regular war,
straight up war,
Nazis,
it
would still be fucking horrifying. That is money that should be going into, anything else, roads, or giving everyone a free fucking foot massage once a week. I don't know, but like that could be going to anything else.
A fucking foot massage? That sounds pretty good.
I mean, well, is that like a happy ending during the massage? I don't know.
It's yeah. No,
okay.
I don't.
Well, that stopped the conversation.
Happy ending with feet.
Because now I'm just thinking about it and how that would work. It doesn't matter. It's not important.
I think it's the only thing that's important. If you all want to continue to see my work and continue to, I plan on starting a show, hopefully within the next month, that it has the same passion and feel as Redacted Tonight. And anyway, obviously that takes funding. So leecamp.locals.com. You can join up there without paying anything. But if you want to become a sustaining member, the lowest level is $5 a month. So it's $1.25 a week. So please, even if you aren't going to join up as a supporting member, please go over there and join leecamp.locals.com. And if you want a free month, you use the promo code Keep Fighting, all caps, one word, Keep Fighting, leecamp.locals.com.